In today's video, we're working on day 9 of the 30-day scrap quilt challenge. Print party, no solids, only prints. I was going to do a postage stamp type block, but I decided against it after starting to cut the 1.5-inch squares. So today we're going to be using strips, and I think you're going to love it. Hi, I'm Jackie of Junk Gal 63 Studio, and here we do all things with scrap fabric. Our block today is the classic Hidden Wells block. One of my all-time favorites because it looks wonderfully complex, but it's so easy to make. Here's my test one. I just wanted to make sure that I had all the dimensions right for you so that we could get a 12-inch block. This pattern was developed by quilter Mary Ellen Hopkins in 1989, and it completely changed how people looked at piecing. Her method allows you to create intricate layered designs using simple strip sets, making it a great choice for both beginners and seasoned quilters. Today we're embracing all the prints. Look at these beautiful vintage prints. Aren't these pretty? Florals, stripes, plaids, dots, whatever makes you smile. No solids today. I know you'll be happy to hear that. For each day in the challenge, a new prompt helps you generate ideas and play with your scraps. Anything goes. I do have a free prompt sheet for you to download. That link is in the description box below. I will be making each block 12 inches square, and on the last day, we'll complete the final block and assemble our quilt in a quilt-as-you-go fashion. Let's go over the materials you're going to need for this project. You can do it one of two ways. You can do 8 strips at 2.5 inches by 10 inches and 2 strips at 2 inches by 10 inches. Or you can simply just do the 20 inches wide, if that makes sense. Instead of cutting these into 10s, you can just connect these just like this. That's what we're going to do, as long as you have 20 inches, and then we will cut them in half. So I hope that makes sense. Just like that. And one of these is 2 inches, and you can place that anywhere you want. So again, if you want, you'll do 2 2.5 by 10, 2 2.5 by 10, again 2 2.5 by 10, and another set of 2.5 by 10, 2 of those, and then 2 2-inch by 10. Otherwise, if you want to combine them, you'll do 1 2.5-inch by 20, and then another one, and another one, and another one, and then 1 2-inch by 20 inches. But I'll explain more as we go along here, okay? No worries. You will need, we'll move these out of the way, a piece of batting that is 12.5 inches square, and a piece of backing fabric that is 12.5 inches square. It's just larger than your square. So let's get to making this classic quilt block. And again, this was just my test piece. I just wanted to make sure that I had the measurements correct for you guys. So we'll move that out of the way. You have to decide how you want your strips. This is Scrappy, so it's not really going to matter, but maybe you have a specific way that you want to do the colors, and I think this one will go there. And here are my prints. So pretty. And this one, and this one. And again, put them however you want them, just like that. I think is how I want them. I think I'll put the 2-inch one at the bottom. And then I am going to stack these. I'm just going to trim these to 21 inches, all of my strips. And I'll just lay that one on the top. Let's find 21 inches right here. All right, and we have some more for the scrap pile. We said that we wanted them laid out like this. And this is so easy, guys. All you're going to do, flip this one here, 1/4 inch seam allowance. All right, our first set is sewn, just like that. Next, we'll just flip this one right onto the roses. And we'll sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance down there. All right, that one is on, just like that. So we'll flip this one over. And we're just simply making strip sets. So easy. 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, and then we have one last one to add, and that's our little 2-incher, and that goes at the bottom. And again, 1/4 inch seam allowance. And just like that, we have a strip set. The next thing to do is to go ahead and set your seams, and by that I mean pressing with your iron right on that seam and then press it open. Same way with all of your seams. If I did my math correctly, I should end up with a strip set that is 10 inches tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're pretty good there. That's a good thing. As tall as your strip set is, that's how wide you want to cut. So we need to grab a ruler here. And is this pretty straight? It is. So line up the top, and then we need to measure. Let's check this side. This side might need a little trimming. Let's see. All right, so we're going to start with this side. We need 10 inches wide. So I'm just going to put it on my mat, and it may be a little wonky. This is old fabric, which is fine because it's beautiful fabric. And then I'll just leave a little to the side. And then I'm going to count over 10. Let's go right here. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'll count one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lay my ruler down. Make sure I have 10 down here. Just like that. And trim. There is our 10-inch piece. That's why I was saying if you wanted, you could do strip sets that are just 10 inches long and sew those together. Okay, does that make sense? If not, just leave me a comment and ask me about that. Otherwise, I just made mine about 20 inches. All right, and we need to do the same thing again. We need to make a 10-inch piece, 10 inches wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because we want to end up where it's 10 inches square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we'll put that right there. Take some off. And let's see how we did cutting. That looks pretty good. So what we're going to do now is turn this like that, or however you like. I kind of like that. It was like this, but you could turn it this way as well. Yeah, let's go with that. Then you will pick this up and lay it down. And just pin and line up. like that. And line up just like that. And this corner. We are going to sew 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way down. Don't even stop and pivot. You can just go all the way down. 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way down. 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way down. And a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way down. When I have that done, I'll be right back. All right, I wanted to show you what I meant by the corners. You can see I sewed all the way off and then started way at the top. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to slice just like we would to make half square triangles. And oh my, it'll be so much fun. All right. I'm just pulling up my rotating mat so that I could use that. And I'm going to go from the intersection of the seam. Let me see if I can get you down here so that you can see that. I'm going to line my ruler up with the intersection of the seam here and down here. That's where I'm going to cut. So line that up. You will cut all the way across, but I want my ruler cut right on that seam that I intersected. And then we are going to slice. Lift your ruler carefully, rotate your mat, go to the other side, line up where those seams are, right here and right here. Take you back out. There we go. Right here and right here. Go all the way across and make sure that your triangle or your square unit did not move. And just check one more time that you're on those seams. All right, here's where the magic happens. Open those up. Just like that. How pretty is that? So pretty with all these prints. Right? I am going to take this to the iron and set my seam and then press this open. How cute is that? This is where you can decide how you want everything laid out. You could go like this. And just like that. And then you would have this pretty pattern here. However you want to put it, you'd have these here. And then you could swap these out so that it's a little different. So you have roses over here but I think I like it like this. But you decide how you would like yours. You could change these up and have that one there and this one here. And then these would be opposite. I kind of like that. Then all that's left to do is you do want to square these up to be 6.5 inches. So you'll just take each one, and I have my easy square ruler, and it has that diagonal mark on it, which will help me square this to 6.5. But however you need to do it to get that squared up. And I think I will use my rotating mat for that. Again, I'm putting my diagonal mark on my diagonal. And I just want to get this to 6.5. And then I'll just flip this around. Take these little pieces off. And then remember where I had it. And then I need to take off this little piece. All right, there's that one. Let's get this one squared up. Again, we're just going to take where that diagonal is, and we want fabric all the way around. Just kind of try to get it in the center. That's why I gave a little extra in the seam allowance. There's that one. So adorable, right? And we'll trim this one up. And one last one. These should fit perfectly so that you can do your 12-inch square. All right, let's bring these back together and see how we want to do them. You could do it, you could do an X. How about that? And then these are opposite. I think I'm going to do the X, but you can do them any way you like. So then the next step, and see how it fits together so nice. Well, this one's a little off, but we're going to take that as a win. All right. We know we need to sew there, so we need to pin that, or you could clip it. So we're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and just take your time over those seams, okay? Gonna be a little bumpy, but you can do it. When I have that done, I'll be right back. And then to bring this block together, we'll match up those center seams like we always do. Pin that. And that looks pretty good. And then we'll make sure we're lined up on the other side. And then you can put some pins in there if you'd like. But I think we did pretty good on this one. And I hope you enjoy creating these types of blocks. All right, 1/4 inch seam allowance. And look at that. That looks like you spent hours piecing that, and you did not. And you can change it around. That's what I like. You can do all kinds of combinations. But I really love this, and I love that I made the X. But you make it however you'd like. We are ready to put our backing down. Backing goes right side down. And then our piece of batting. Just like that. And I'm just going to do some simple stitch in the ditch. I think I'll go here, here, and just some other spots. Wherever you'd like to do it to make a cute design on the back. So let me get this pinned up. Just like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's prompt with prints. Thank you to my friend Kathy for the beautiful vintage prints. I think they're perfect in this block. And it's going to be a wonderful addition to the quilt that we're working on together here. Let me go get this quilted up and I'll be right back. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a Bible verse and a final thought to encourage you. The Bible verse is from Psalm chapter 104, verses 10 through 13. He sends the springs into the valleys. They flow among the hills. They give drink to every beast of the field. The wild donkeys quench their thirst. By them the birds of the heavens have their home. They sing among the branches. He waters the hills from his upper chambers. The earth is satisfied with the fruit of your works. Just like the flow of water through valleys, God's creativity runs through all creation, bright, diverse, and full of life. As you piece together your printed fabrics today, think about how every color and pattern reflects that same divine artistry. You're not just making a block. You're joining in the joy of creation itself. Thank you so much for watching, commenting, and sharing. It truly means the world to me. And until the next video, God bless you.